to this very first video on the PhiloBites Quiz explanation. So if you have not done the quiz, please head down to the link in the description below to try out the quiz. It's just a simple 5-question, and then head back over to this video to see the explanation and to see whether you can perhaps understand the questions a little bit better. What is the meaning of the word asana? So historically, asana is to mean two things. One, the noun, the seat, the quality of the seat, whether you're sitting down on a rug or on a surface that is clean and perhaps even smooth. So the quality of the seat, and also to refer to the action of sitting down. So in the modern context, asana would of course refer to the poses that we do on the mat. So that could be your, unbalancing poses, your chair pose, your standing poses, so all of that. So therefore, the answer here would include everything in the options. Who exactly is Patanjali? Underlying this question is the fact that Patanjali is a very common name, a name that is almost like John in our modern times. So it means that Patanjali has appeared in many different texts spanning across decades and centuries, and it's quite unlikely that Patanjali actually lived for that long. So who are all these people? Who are all these Patanjalis essentially? So going chronologically, he is known to be a mythical figure in the Hindu or yoga history. Half human, top half, and bottom half would be serpent, coiled 3 rounds, like that of the Kundalini energy. Moving forward in history, Patanjali is also known as a grammarian who wrote books on the language of Sanskrit, a wonderful scholar, that is. He is also, Patanjali, also known as a person who wrote medical texts. So that would be a different Patanjali altogether. And there is the Patanjali who compiled the Yoga Sutra, in which it's a case we all know is a book that most yoga students would be quite familiar with. So who exactly is Patanjali? If I do not give you the time frame, I would say all of them. This next question is the appearance of the word yoga. It first appeared in the oldest of Hindu texts, and that would be the Rig Veda. So that would be true. Connecting to this would be the meaning of the word yoga in the Rig Veda. So yoga in the Rig Veda means to yoke or to connect or to attach, and it's a verb. However, the context is to yoke or to attach the horse with a chariot. So that's sort of connecting, literally a physical connection. However, the modern interpretations have expanded or extrapolated this meaning of yoking to mean the union, the joining of the mind and the body and whatever not. So, but if you were to look at it purely in its context, it means to attach. This next question is a trick question, actually. So how many limbs of yoga are there? For most of us, we tend to refer or reference the Yoga Sutra and prioritize that text because we've been exposed to it quite frequently in our yoga teacher training programs. However, please note that there are many other texts of yoga that reference to this idea of these limbs of yoga. There's only in the Yoga Sutra it is mentioned as 8-limbed, and the Yoga Sutra appeared in somewhat around the 400 Common Era. Prior to that, there are texts, especially in the Jain tradition, where there is some mention of this limbs of yoga, and in these Jain texts, there were mentions of 7 limbs of yoga. So how many other limbs of yoga are there in the world? There are many. There are 5, 7. It really depends on the text that you're referring to. So this is actually a trick question. If you do like taking such quizzes, please follow me on Instagram at Suffian Thuri so that you can check out the weekly quizzes that I put up on my stories. And also head on to this YouTube channel. Please subscribe to listen in, to tune in to the explanation for the quizzes that I would conduct weekly. And if you are one of those interested to learn more about yoga beyond the practice, do check out my website, suffianthuri.com, to check out the online offerings that I have. I'm rolling out the very first online session on ascetics in yoga and their role and the significance they play in our development of yoga that we know of today. So do check that out. And if you are in Singapore, do come by to the studio that I co-founded with two other brilliant, amazing souls. And it's called Yoga Plus. You can find that at www.yogaplus.sg. Head on to the studio, check out our website, and feel free to say hi. See you then.